All right, hello everyone, it's silverkyle, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2 Omnibus from the Silver Age, and I am so happy that we got a reprint of this. This is the kind of stuff that I've been looking forward to ever since I got into the Omnibus game. One of the things that I've always wanted with comic books, or for any media for that matter really, is that I like to start things from the beginning. So when they had the reprint of Volume 1 of The Amazing Spider-Man, I wanted this so badly. This isn't by far any of the best material from Spider-Man. Like, it's the Silver Age. It's not. It's a lot wordier. It isn't really any big overarching arcs. The stories are kind of just one-shot deals, and you move on to the next villain. But I still really enjoy this, and I liked starting from the beginning. So to finally have Volume 2 and continue on makes me so freaking happy. I'm really hoping that we end up getting a Volume 3 because I don't have Volume 3. I have Volume 4. As you can see, it's still sealed because I don't want to jump into it until I've read Volumes 2 and 3. I'm hoping that we will get a reprint of Volume 3 later on this year. That would be awesome because we ended up getting the reprint of Volume 2. We're getting the Roger Stern Omnibus reprint in a few months from now. I just want all of Spider-Man because he is by far my favorite superhero. Maybe not by far. Batman's really close up there as well. But on the Marvel side of things, he's amazing. No pun intended. I hate when I do that, especially when there is no pun intended. I think it's just because it's in my mind, and that's what happens when you say something that is actually no pun intended. Anyway, I'm spending way too much on this. Let's take a look. I just wanted to show you what the spines look like for these, and we obviously get, so there's a few different variants for this. I wish that I had the actual art from this issue instead of the variant, because it never matches, like this one is the actual... This is from Amazing Fantasy number 15. It's not the... I think it was... what's his name? It's the artist that I don't really care for. I know a lot of people like him, but it's more like paintings that he does, kind of. What is his name? I'm completely... Alex Ross, I think is his name. He has a cover for this, and I hate it. Sometimes I can accept his art, but this I prefer much, having this version of it. And then this one, where I do kind of like the art, I would much prefer to have... Let's see if I can find it here. I'm sure it's... I don't know what issue that would be. Oh, it's the first one. That one right there. Like that. That is exactly what it's supposed to look like. That is... And I would much... I really like the artwork that they have going from here, which is John Romita Sr. And my favorite Spider-Man artist is John Romita Jr. So... considering his father drew this stuff, I can't wait to dive into this. I like his art. I want to see all the stories that are kind of contained in here. I've heard some good things about this. Probably it's a better run from what I gather than Volume 1 was. And then Volume 4, I think, is one of just... I don't like that art at all. I much would have preferred, once again, but because I'm ordering them from like places like Amazon or Indigo, I can't get the actual covers that have the actual issues, which is what I prefer. But anyway, enough about that. Let's actually dive into the book now. All right, finally, we're going to take a closer look. Sorry about that. I just get off track sometimes. Anyway, we're going to take a closer look at the actual omnibus here. So the cover art, like I said, I like it, but I would much prefer to have the actual art that is contained in this book. I'm fine with variants, as extras or something like that. I actually kind of like it, seeing other people's takes on covers or something like that, and you get it modernized and you can see what that artist would have done with this. I like seeing that, but when the contents of the book, I want the cover to be the contents from that book. Just look at this, just gorgeous 60s art. Like this, I generally, the 60s, I had a hard time at the beginning kind of looking at these, but as I started reading more and more of it, I actually started appreciating, like Kirby, I really didn't like for the longest time, and now I really enjoy. Steve Ditko, I would say that I like John Romita, and I've barely read anything from John Romita Sr., but I like his art and his take on Spider-Man more than Steve Ditko. It's just, that's how I feel. So we get a little bit here on the flaps. Probably information on the actual run itself. Then we get some stuff on the creators. So we get obviously Stan Lee, John Romita Sr., Larry Lieber, Don Heck, and Jim Mooney. I didn't know that many people worked on this. I thought it was mainly just John Romita. It probably is the majority of him. Okay, and also let's take the dust jacket off. Oh, and even say how much it was worth and all that kind of stuff. Let's do that, shall we? All right, so this retails for $125 in the US, $157 in Canada. I believe I got this from Amazon. Lately, I've been getting everything from Indigo from a sale that they had, but they didn't have this up at the time for pre-order. So I ended up getting this from Amazon, and I think I got it for $105 in Canada. Not too bad. Collecting the Amazing Spider-Man 39 to 67, and annuals 3 to 5, along with the Spectacular Spider-Man 1 and 2. And you get obviously all this beautiful art with it as well. Love that they do this. I wish they did that for every comic book. I like art in the background, but I prefer them to do that on the actual hardcover itself. Now, because that it is a Silver Age book, it's all in black, which I'm okay with, and I'm actually okay with you know, the Silver Age. DC does that too, where it's just all black, and I'm okay with that. Modern stuff, though, I like it when they do. That's when I want them to do something. That I'm perfectly fine on the inside of the book. With the hardcover, you can have modern art on that. I'm fine with that. And if you have something that goes around on both sides, oh, it's beautiful. I know what I like. I'm very specific. Black, obviously, at the beginning. Nice shot of Spidey there. The people that were able to get this made. Table of contents, absolutely glorious. So we get it from 66 all the way to, I believe, 68 is the last time that we get anything. Yep. And the other thing that I like about Marvel as opposed to DC is that they actually, well, for the most part, for Marvel, you end up seeing the actual month that they come out in as well. And that makes a big difference for me too. Get a nice little forward here from Stan Lee from 92, probably from Marvel Masterworks is what I'm thinking of, potentially. I'm not sure if that's what it is. The cover that we saw, but the actually drawn back in that time. I would have loved, like, you can compare them. I like that one more. That one, to me, even if this material was all modern stuff, that and I'm just looking at or I'm just looking at two different covers, I prefer that one. That's nice. Like, look at the Green Goblin. The colors just pop so much. I don't know. I really like it. And what's nice is because I've been reviewing so many DC books lately, this is a Marvel omnibus. We're a few pages in and it just opens. It stays open. It's not a trap. Oh, this feels good. I wish that DC would learn from Marvel. Another thing that I really like about the Marvel books, before I start talking more about the binding, is that they keep the letters in here. So I love this kind of stuff. I don't read them all the time because sometimes I'm just really wanting to get through the stories, but I like going back and like I've done it for the Fantastic Four and Volume 1 of Spider-Man. Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, both Volume 1s, I read them because I really enjoyed them. Like, I kind of went through the stories and I'd go back and read the newsletters afterwards. The letters to the editor. Rhino. I've always really liked Rhino. I don't know if it's because when I was a kid, I really liked the idea of these big hulking monsters kind of thing. Rhino is not an actual monster, but he's massive and he dresses up like a rhino. I really like this artwork too. I don't know who that is. I don't know if is that J. Jonah Jameson's son? I feel like that could be him, maybe. Who's that guy? Or is that Rhino? Maybe? I don't know. I've never read this issue. So I literally have no idea who that person is. Mary Jane is finally included in this run. We get some Avengers stuff potentially here, by the looks of things. Spidey versus Hulk. I didn't even know that happened in this issue. The return of a lot of villains. The first introduction of the Shocker as well. It's so weird because when I was looking at the 90s Spider-Man TV show, which in my opinion is the best version of Spider-Man that we've ever had on screen in terms of movies and TV shows, that 1994 run of the TV show of Spider-Man, best version of Spider-Man. That voice is the voice of Spider-Man. When I'm reading comics, that's who I hear when Spider-Man is talking. We get the new Vulture. MJ's looking good right there. Kingpin. And I always hear that everybody ties Daredevil to Kingpin, and I get that, but to me, I always saw Kingpin as a Spider-Man villain because of that '94 TV show. Man, that TV show is just great. I cannot wait to get into this. And this is about, what is this? Hey, it's COVID. Just, I did not expect that. Kazar, I had an issue of his from a Hulk or a Wolverine book. I can't remember, or a Spidey book. There's some other book from the 90s that I have where I think it's Spidey, Kazar, and Hulk. What is that issue that I have? Anyway, this is about halfway through the book, and I'm going to show you this binding of this. We actually get an eye. Sewn binding, not a crazy amount of glue, because Marvel knows how to do things. And I think that this book is somewhere around some Gwen Stacy here. I am really looking forward to getting into the Spectacular Spider-Man issue. I think this is something like 900 pages or something like that. A bit smaller than volume 2, or volume 1, sorry. More Green Goblin. And there are extras. Ooh, look at that. That's nice. Paper quality feels really good. This is, to me, what I expect from Marvel for their Omnibus, especially their older stuff. It's weird. I feel that they do a very good job with the quality of their books for their older stuff. See, here, completely different cover than, oh, really? Maybe that isn't, no, that's the original stuff. But I was going to say, this is where I would generally like to see these. Huh. Recolored, I guess, maybe? Dean White maybe did a little bit more here. I don't know. But this is where I would like to have these covers. And there you have it. The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2 Omnibus. The reprint is finally out. Hopefully we get a Volume 3 either later this year or maybe next year. I'm really hoping not to wait that long, but I'm so happy that we have this, and I can't wait to dive into it. So thank you all for watching. You have been bearded in. Beardage!